glasses. Oh, shoot. I don't know what the case is, but they got a little pair. How's that? That's good. Okay, that'll work. All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. I had two statements that I always work at that time, and that's when I'm making dinner, putting my kids to bed, so I thought I'd get on now. Neither of them responded, but I'm going to see if anybody shows up. Who knows? I got to figure out how to get it on my tablet, though. Hold on. Give me a break. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. I wish I knew how. I wish I was not a techno-tard, people. How do you do that? How do I find my channel? The other day it was already on. It was playing. That's how I figured out I can actually make comments, because I can do it on my tablet. But I have to know how to get on. How do I find it? I don't know. Little DD, Millie. Come on. I should get a notification, shouldn't I? Network connection. What? Just on. I got network connection. YouTube. Hang on, people. Sorry. Okay. How do I subscriptions? There you go. I don't know if I'm subscribed to my channel though. How do I get on my own channel? Man. Go to library. Maybe that's how I get your videos. Yeah, your videos. Nobody got the joke last night. They all came in one accord. They weren't ripping me up because Accord is a pretty small car. Sorry. Sometimes I crack myself up. I have no idea how to get on my channel. Library. Your videos, watch later, history, downloads, subscriptions. Oh, man. This is sorry. I'm sorry I'm so retarded, everybody. I hate being a techno-tard. How can I get on my own? I have a tablet here. I'm trying to figure out how to get on my channel on my tablet. There's bells up there. Maybe I got it. Hold on. The other day it was playing, and I wondered why it was a delay. There's a delay, you know. Jeremiah Shine says, I'll buckle down and be there tonight. Okay, well, be here now. I sent him a note. However it was that he communicated with me, I sent him a note right back. Just for you, I'm on right. Turn on, tune in, and drop out. Period. Tune in, turn on, and drop out of the system. Drop out of Babylon. Got to redo that saying. Crud, how do I get on my channel? So frustrating. Yeah. These all your live streams are bedtimes for the kids. Between dinner, cleaning up, clothes washing, stoking the wood stove, hauling in firewood. He forgot to say that. Showers and whip cracking. It's pointless to have on even in the background. I play less important things like news and alternative history. News, catch up on the reload and catch the upload. Okay, so now you got a chance to be on live, dude, and have your say. Oh, people, somebody help me. Somebody out there that knows IT stuff or knows how to run a blasted tablet. So frustrating. How was I playing it? How do you play videos if you don't know where they're at? Yeah. What is a biwalk? It biwalk. It rolls it biwalk. It rolls biwax. I'm gonna leave that one. Let me pull that one and say do something with that. Share or something. Save to playlist. There you go. You go to my channel and on the playlists, some of the recent ones I've been putting a lot of videos on. New Ozark Plateau Refugium playlist. Ozark Plateau directives for the refugium. Own your own home debt free, build your own home. Off grid cabins and shelters, build your own home. Homesteading, build your own home. Super shelters, dugouts, and cabins, build your own dugout, build your own cabin, build your own shelter. Nice to have anyways a backup. You can build an underground, build one of these dugouts and it'll be a tornado shelter and root cellar. Underground shelters and homes. Okay, those are all playlists, so go to those and look things up. Okay, done. Somebody tell me how to get on my channel. Oh, 2 notifications. Shouldn't it tell me that I'm streaming? Sure as heck isn't. 2 minutes ago. Okay. Why isn't it telling me I'm streaming? Urgh. The other day it came up by accident. I didn't even know I did it. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye that I saw my hand moving, like doing that. And I was like, that's me. That's I knew it was there, but the, it wasn't live. It was a delay. And then I realized I could write on it, and that's what I did. I wrote on it. I can actually now write live comments. So interact with the chat because I'd asked somebody to. It was a night that I asked somebody to put my email and add phone number out there, and didn't happen because they may not have heard me because it might have buffered. But anyway, doggone it. Oh well, fiddle-dee-dee, Melly. Who's on? Cowboy, doing cowboy. Ozark Brother Jerry. Hey, wow, awesome. I got to tell that story. Oh my gosh. So I'm at a Passover, I think it was. No, was it? No, it was the summer, my awesome widow expedition summer. Awesome. Arkansas Widow Expedition. So awesome. AWE. Arkansas Widow Expedition. Awesome summer. I went down to help a widow with a bear problem. She had a bear issue. I call her the bear lady, but she had a bear on her porch one day, and she posted a meme on Facebook on Ozark Set Apart. It's a Torah observant, what do you call it? Torah observant and sacred name bunch of people. And they got about, I think, 300 members or better. I haven't checked on it for a while. Was on the board or whatever, the moderators, elders. But anyway, she posted a meme on there. I thought it was a meme. I really did. It looked like a meme. It was, big print and stuff. And it said, Father, if you're going to send a single woman out into the wilderness and have her attacked by a bear, wouldn't it be a good idea to send her a husband with a gun that knows how to use it? And I thought, hey, boom, boom, boom. I would like to get married. So I called her up and said, she donated to me. She's awesome, awesome. Awesome woman, awesome sister. Just one of the godliest and most incredible faith-filled people I've ever met in my life. So I called her and said, hey, would you like me to come down and help? And she goes, yeah, anytime. So 2 days, well, the next day, not the next day, it took me a day to load up. I loaded my van. I loaded for bear. The van was so heavy that when I pulled down, I could not lift it broke the weight of the angle of the van, and the weight of it just destroyed the piston in the door. So I have to put it up with a crutch or a pole or something now. But so I got there, I backed down to her house. So it was a nightmare, but anyway, got down there, left her with a bunch of stuff, built her a stainless steel burn cage so she wouldn't attracting possums and skunks and bears and stuff like that. But anyway, I laughed at the meme. The first one, I got ahead of myself there. I'm sorry. So I laughed at it. I chuckled. That's cute. That's kind of an odd prayer, kind of an odd request, to the universe, to Father. And then the next night, I thought it was a joke, kind of a joke because it was funny. It was funny. You're gonna do this? Wouldn't it be a good idea to send his husband with a gun that knows how to use it? So next night, she's on there and she goes, the bear came back and it was on her porch from 8 o'clock at night until 4 o'clock. For 8 hours, it was on her porch. And she had just heard a neighbor tell her that a bear had leaped through a window, broke through a window, and was in the process of coming into their bedroom when the guy shot and killed it. So she's got that in her mind, like terror. She spent about half that several hours on a ladder. The only way to get to the second floor, she had just bought this place. The only way to get to the second floor was the ladder, and I never even went up there. I never even went up the ladder. The whole time I was there for about 2 weeks helping her. So I never went up that ladder, but she got about halfway up the ladder and just froze in terror and clung to that ladder for like 2 or 3 hours, just shaking while the bears were rummaging around outside. So the funny part of it is I found what the bear was after later when I was there. During the time I was there, I found it. It was her automatic electronic cat dispenser, cat food dish. The bear was trying to figure out how to open it. It wasn't being violent or anything. It was just trying to roll it around. So she's in terror. She's hearing all these noises rummaging around outside. So she went out to I think that night or the next night or something. She went out with a flashlight, little LED flashlight, not bright enough. And she looks out. She hears a flashlight about 4 feet away at the butt end of the bear. So she real carefully closed the door. I mean, just some hilarious stuff on this whole story. Amazing story. I don't think she could remember all the miracles that happened to her. And then she's going to buy another one. This is her 3 stages of her vision. Buy that property, another one for her family, like 200 acres for family, and then a third one, like 1,000 or better acres for a whole village, a community. So that's quite the vision. So anyway, I thought it was just funny as all get out. So we can go into that maybe some other time, the rest of it. But it was just that was a backstory. That was just bunny trail. Okay, sorry. So what happened was, what is that doing? Okay, get out of there. I guess you can see me. So back trail. Arkansas Widow Expedition. AWE. Okay, Arkansas Widow AWE. Arkansas Widow Expedition. Awesome. Widow Expedition. Arkansas Widow. Yeah, Arkansas Widow. Awesome. Awesome. So I'm trying to tell something. What did I went down there for? Well, that's why I went down there. But that wasn't what I was going to tell about. I wasn't going to tell about that or that. I forget where I was. Tell me what I was talking about. Doggone it. Oh, man, that's crazy. I'm sorry. I slept good last night. Solar SBI. Get back to you, Jim, there. Ozark's brother Jerry. Hey, there you go. Okay, so that was the summer of my Arkansas widow. That was where I got off of Terry. Okay, so, and she got married now. She found a husband. But I was like, she's pretty good looking. She's a nice little girl. And, I said, yeah, I'd like to get married. She goes, now you're too fat, too old, and too dumb. Not dumb, but too fat and too old and ugly, so whatever. In so many words. So I kind of chuckled, okay, fine. In Isaiah 4, it says that 7 women shall take hold on one man. Okay. So God hates polygamy, right? According to all the Christians. But anyway, 7 women shall take hold on one man. Now, God has kind of a sense of humor, but in the Hebrew, if you go to the Hebrew, take hold. I gave it away. Shit. Okay, so anyway, the word take hold means make hard. So, and it's not, I know what first comes to your mind, but that's not, I don't believe that's what it's talking about necessarily or in total. What part of a man's anatomy can a woman take hold of to make hard? How 7 women can take hold on? Well, there's a lot of areas of your in good shape. In fact, I had very high blood pressure. I would struggle with it there, and I went to another place and allowed me to. I was sleeping in a little teeny shed. I mean, a wood shed, basically, tool shed. And she threw me out. And I said, then she let me stay in a cottage for a little while. And then knowing that my blood pressure was high, knowing that it could kill me, I mean, I was like at the 190 over. It was just ridiculously high, and I could feel the pressure in my throat and my head, everything. I knew it was in bad shape. She gave me she said, get out of here by tomorrow at noon. You have till tomorrow noon to get out of here. And she just very sad, very, very sick because she had a vision, a dream or a vision, and it was basically a choice. Do you want to be a queen on earth? Or would you rather be a slave in heaven? And she said, I'd rather be a slave in heaven. So here she was trying to be a queen on earth to evict people and kill people. She threatened my life, very definitely. That was a very serious threat to my life. I survived it, and then I got because I had a cellulitis, which is really bad. Your leg swells up and it's excruciatingly painful and whatever. But that's what happened there. So anyway, in the course of this whole summer, another widow, which is where I made the statement about the kingdom of heaven is going to be set up, I believe, through the administration, through the blessing of widows and orphans to a large degree, and servants, strangers in Israel, and priests. Okay. Mainly I said widows and orphans. That's huge. In the law, in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, that is so huge to take care of those. If a man provide not for his own, especially they have his own house, he is worse than an unbeliever. Take care of the widows and orphans in your house. And I've been orphaned, which is why Bill has been taking, allowing me to. He helped me. Okay, I didn't have anywhere to go. I slept under his cabin one day. Best I could do, I had to sleep. I was so close to dying that I had to sleep. I slept under his cabin on the old mat that he used to have. Anyway, he basically gave me the Airstream here. He gave it to me. He said, Jerry, that's yours as long as you need it. I said, well, I'll need it till the day I die because it may be my office. I have a job to do. I have a ministry to take care of. I'm going to be helping people, and I need somewhere to live. So, okay, thank you. And then after he got in trouble financially or got less income coming in, I asked him if I could buy it from him, so I could give him some money. So I started buying it from him. I contracted, and I paid it off now. So anyway, long story short, another bunny trail. This is going to be my 1,000 bunny trails. No, my never-ending bunny trail story. Okay, so what's the next thing? I was. What is the light behind me? That's just daylight, isn't it? Is that daylight? I guess it is. Kind of lit up back there. Maybe there's something behind me. I think there is. I don't think it's distracting, is it? You just can't see it. That's not bad. Oh, that's that light. What if I turn that off? Nah, that's not too bad. I thought I had a light bulb up there, but I guess I don't. Nope, the light bulb's there. You just can't see it. Yeah, you can see it. I can see it. Well, sorry, that was really stupid. Okay, so anyway, Arkansas Widow Exposition. So I'm over at another lady's, and I was doing a lot of cleaning up. I mean, I was burning. There were ticks and chiggers. I was just so. If you get on a property, and this happened with friends of ours, or people I know, a couple nearby. They moved into a 250-acre lot place, free of charge. Been living there ever since. Ticks and chiggers are a real pain in the ass, and the best way to, find them is to. They wear clothes now, but they had a sign. They told everybody that if you want to come over, you don't want to see us naked, honk your horn as you're coming in or before you get in here or something. And I'll never forget the first time I pulled in there. I was like, there was a camper here and a tent here and something over here, and I could see it was just like bushcrafting 101, living out in the woods. And I was driving an 81 Mercury Sable. I rolled the window down, and he walked up, and I said, "This isn't fair." That was what came out of my heart and my mouth. This isn't fair, You get to do all this fun stuff, and I have to live in a stupid house. I was very upset. It was very upsetting to me that he was doing that, having so much fun. We're gonna have so much fun. My thing about it last night, we're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be a blast. Okay, so anyway, Arkansas Widow Expedition. So while I was there, I made the statement on video, and I wrote it out and put it in the drop-down description. It's in a series of preparing and protecting the homestead. I think that's the title of it. And in that, I said, widows and orphans would be used to bring about the kingdom. And I made statements like, if you're a widow and you're being harassed or you know, oppressed, be sure to warn those people who are doing that, because it may be the last thing they ever hear before on this earth. That God will judge the widow, will judge the person offending the widow. So because of that, a widow heard that and wrote down what I said word for word and read it to me several times on the phone. Get that, read it to you right now. That's okay. It's in the drop down description. And the West Point Mint, and it's a 25 20-ounce rolls, 250, 25 times 10, yeah, 20 times 20 in a roll, 25 rolls. 20, what's 20 times 225? 225 rolls, no, 225 silver dollars, yeah. About $10,000 worth. So I was able to pay some things off, and I was going to pay off the two streams with it, but then that went kerflooey when I had the stroke. So I paid for a mobile home on my son's property, which I have never had the use of yet. Very, very proud about that. That's still in play. That $10,000 of silver is still in play. I do not have a home yet. It's so weird, so odd, so bizarre. They bought a mobile home, but it had mold in it. They were going to move into it, but they decided not to. That they would stay in the one they're in, and I would get the moldy one. Gee, thanks. Put the old man in the moldy trailer. Yeah. So anyway, they still haven't fixed it up. They the floor sheeting's there. It's in there. There's a stove in there. My son bought a hot tub. I mean a jacuzzi like tub, for the bathroom. But they've never bothered to fix it up and finish it, even though I paid them for it a year and a half ago now. So Arkansas Widow Expedition. I'm not going to lose my train of thought now. Okay, I'm on a streak here. Okay, so that statement. Then later that turned out to be really a blessing that I made that statement, because I got the big donation. And what else? So in the course of this whole thing, I took the woman, the widow. Oh, this is so amazing. If you have not watched the movie Widow's Might, watch that movie, because that movie plays into my saga big time. Oh my gosh. It's a homeschool produced film. It's an indie film, and at the Lubbock, Texas Homeschool Music Festival Awards, the year that it came out, it won first prize, for best movie. And if everybody's watched Facing the Giants, Flywheel, Fireproof, all those great movies by the Kendrick brothers, Stephen Kendrick, when at the award ceremony, I remember forgetting. I try not to cry here, but with tears in his eyes, with tears streaming down his face, he said, "I'm so glad that we did not win." And this was the year Fireproof came out, one of their great movies. He said, "I'm so glad that we didn't win." He said, "I'm so pleased that another family, another independent filmmaker, Christian filmmaker, has done something great." And he was so happy that they lost. That's the kingdom of heaven. So anyway, that movie came out. I was awed by it. I watched it. It had just come out. I watched it. We'd seen it as a family, and I was in the process of trying to help a single mother who would be better. A lot of women. This is the thing is, she's a single mom. She's on Section 8. She's blah blah. She does this. She does this, and Section 8 was a big one. Trying to help this woman and to help her move down here. I think she already was down here. Yeah, she was down. No, she wasn't down here. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, she was down here, and I was trying to find her a trailer or someplace to live. So I put out a request on Preparing But Not Afraid, which was a Yahoo group at the time, and it was a Christian preparedness group. Okay, I put out a request for help for this woman. A widow sent me $100, and specifically said, "Jerry, use this money however you need to. No stipulations. Do whatever you need to do with it." I said, okay, so I did. I ended up not using it for Sky. I've told this before. I'm going to tell it now, just because I'm on a roll here. I want to get back to brother Jerry. So I did not end up using it because I got a call. I was in Springfield, an hour away, on on an afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My phone rings and I answered it, and it's a friend, Lori, who was at the very first gathering meeting, refuge gathering meeting I've been to. And this woman, I'll tell you what, this sister, she has a whole notebook of dreams and visions she's had. And I tell her, I said, if I had that, if I'd had those dreams, I would be in a mental institution. I would be cracked. I couldn't take that kind of pressure, that kind of stress. I've had one picture in my mind and one vision, one single solitary vision. She has the same vision over and over again, the gray rock vision and the white rock vision, whatever. So, okay, so anyway, she calls me. I said, Jerry, you have to get out of here. So I said, hey, we got to go home. So we whoever was with me, Bill and my son Ian, I don't know, we zipped home, loaded up, and blazed out to Salina, Kansas, loaded everything she owned up, and by noon the next day, we pulled in back here, and she told me I talked to her recently about where we took her to. She spent some time at Prairie Creek Settlement. She spent time down at McDonald at a cave, trying to develop the cave as a refuge. I don't know. Anyway, we took her somewhere, and she spent some time somewhere. Okay, so maybe someday I'll put that little piece of the puzzle back together. It probably has something to do with something. Okay, so I spend $100 on fuel to get her here. She didn't know that, didn't remember that, didn't care, but oh well. It's funny, people I do something for, they on me. So anyway, shut up. Okay. So she gets here from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to noon the next day. 22 hours we were going. Had already been up for time because we were to get into Springfield, be there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We had to leave probably we had to leave about 1 at latest, and probably I got up about 10 or 11 that morning. I don't know. I don't remember. It doesn't make any difference. So I used that money to get her here, but I wrote to Carol, the widow in Georgia that had sent the money, the $100 money. It's okay. I said, hey, oh, good grief. Fast forward 9 or so. No, Lori had already. I'd been to 2009 when we went to the meeting when I met Lori, so it had to be the year maybe 2010, maybe something like that, ballpark, whatever. I get an email from Carol saying, "Dear Mr. Elliott, this is through my How to Get Out of Babylon website, and my email is how to get out of Babylon at gmail.com." I said it before, so you can use that email. I'm actually going to be checking it more now. Typically, I never look at it for months at a time. How to get out of Babylon at gmail.com. No more. Okay, so I should have brought some water up here. I got water. Yeah, I got water. Okay, coffee. I got water. I'm good. We got a half pack of cigarettes, full cup of coffee, and dark sunshade. Half tank of gas. Half pack of cigarettes, a full tank of gas, and sunshades. Nothing can stop us now. Blues Brothers. Okay. Jake and Elwood Blues. That seriously. Mm. Oh, that's almost traumatic rethinking that one. Okay, so um, Lori. Okay, so years later, Carol writes me and says, "Dear Mr. Elliott, I think that you might know a man that I'm trying to get in touch with. His forum prepared me out afraid, but I cannot figure out how to get back on there. So if you know him, could you put me in touch with him?" And I wrote her back and said, "I'm Jerry Diamond." Oh, she was so excited. So she took that as a complete. Get how this all plays together. I mean, I told you the widow where I was at when I made the video. Had another widow send me $10,000. She's a widow because her husband broke the law, broke Torah. Okay, Sabbath. Okay, her husband planted trees for a living in Georgia or wherever, Like, you travel, you probably, I know people do this. It's a brutal job. I can't believe people even do it, but that's what he did for a living. So that summer, he said, "We're not going to be able to drive the RV. We can't afford it. We're going to have to camp." And she goes, "You mean in a tent?" And he goes, "Yeah, in a tent." So they go out there. They're camping in a tent. He's working like she's in a tent all day long in the summer in the heat. Oh my gosh, miserable. So he's up planting trees, and she's in the tent. And she gets on her phone, and she contacts Carol. How do they know Carol? How did Carol and her meet each other? Uh, wow, Stephen. Oh my. Okay, I think I got it. This is really important. This is all ties together. I mean, I'm seeing things right now that I haven't seen over the whole 10 years. Carol and Elisheba hooked up through his holy church, Brother Gregory, his holy church. Okay, and they knew each other, and they were both on no, because Elisheba was not on Preparing But Not Afraid. It was not through Preparing But Not Afraid. It was through his holy church, HHC. They hooked up. They knew each other, so they'd converse by phone and what. So Carol, when Elisheba says, "I'm out in Georgia," Carol says, "Where are you staying?" And she goes, "We're camping." And Carol fired back, "In a tent?" And Elisheba goes, "Yeah, in a tent." She said, "Come over and stay at my mansion." So they go and stay the whole time that Tom's there. Elisheba and Carol were able to hang out in her mansion, her Georgia plantation, whatever, I don't know. Georgia Peach Mansion. It was a big house, I know that. Maybe not a plantation, but it's a big place. So, okay, so she knew Elisheba very well because she spent a couple of weeks with her, or maybe the whole summer, I don't know. They became very good friends. So fast forward all these years later, um, that was back, I don't even know when that year that was. I have no clue what year that was. I guess 2007, 2008, somewhere in their ballpark. So fast forward back to Dear Mr. Elliot. I think you know a man named Jerry Diamond. Can you put me in touch with him? I wrote her back and said, "I am Jerry Diamond." So because she knew me through Preparing But Not Afraid, and she was just so enthralled that I was that crazy man. I was that Jeremiah Elliott, same person. So it gave her courage to do something that she would never have done otherwise. She knew Tom and Elisheba, and she knew then that they were in Arkansas. She knew where they lived, and she was going to go visit them. She wanted to visit them. She wanted to visit me. The third reason she wanted to come out and visit was because she had met a man online, Bud, and they had talked a lot and confabed a lot and how people do online, and thought they knew each other well enough to get married. Are you crazy? You meet somebody online and want to get married? Are you nuts? That's never going to happen. It does. Okay. It kind of sort of almost happened to me. It happened. It was weird enough that I bought a farm with this woman. Okay. Never having met each other, never having seen each other, never having, other than talking on the phone and email, we bought a farm between our two incomes, our two Social Security incomes. She had SSI, I had Social Security, and this Dave Herr. If you ever want a realtor out here, I'll give you a guy in Springfield, Dave Herr, Herr, Dave Herr. He stayed with us. He found us a farm. I mean, he took me to several places, came all the way up to Polk County. He only tell me one place, and it hooked me up with a finance guy. His finance guy, his name is Eric, and that guy coached me through improving my credit score. Get a credit card and pay it off. Okay, boom, I got a better credit score. So that put us enough over the line until we could qualify for a USDA loan. And you had to have all kinds of restrictions on the house has to be nice, da 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 da. We could have bought a $40,000 church, a 3,000 square foot church, brick church, in nice, beautiful, perfect condition, brand new heating, brand new air conditioning, brand new well. They couldn't sell it as a home, so they couldn't sell it as a church, so they'd sell it as a home. But they didn't have bedrooms with windows that you could get out of. You had to have a fire escape. You had to be able to get out. Well, basement windows aren't really easy to get out of, so it didn't qualify. They have to have rain gutters and all kinds of different kind of things. So Other than that, we would qualified, and the lady's still there, which is good. You know, it's her place of refuge for her entire family should they come down to it ever to get here from Florida and Illinois, not very far from Illinois and Kentucky, but her mom's in Kentucky, sister's in Illinois, rest of them are in Florida. So anyway, this like you see, this is what I say, the never-ending bunny trail story. But, oh, rewind. Okay, so I'm still getting to brother Ozark, brother Jerry. Hang on, brother. I hope you're still on listening to all this because you're a big part of this, amazingly. Okay, so and my being able to remember my train of thought. Good grief, that's a miracle. So where was I at? Howdy, dowdy, howdy, howdy. Terry Bell. Who's Terry Bell? Hi, Terry Bell. Hit it. Hey, Jeremiah signs on. Hallelujah. Michael Quinn. Hey, Michael. Deborah Perry. Deborah, how you doing? Zapton Kaboom. You're late, Zapton. You're usually the first one on. Hey, Zapton Kaboom. You know, I don't know anything other than your name. You know, you don't ever make any comments or nothing. You know, you're on all the time. Are you a what do you call them? What's the word? Not troll, but lurker. You're a lurker. Okay. Be nice to know a little bit more about you, where you're from, if you got any interest in what I'm talking about at all. Apparently you do, because you're always on, but you never say anything. Coffee house sells. Hey, cool. Tony's on. Good deal. I don't see what's his name though. The other one that complained. What's his name? Don. Don should be on. Come on, Don. Show up. Dadgummit. I did this just for you and what's your name? Jeremiah Shine. So get on it. Okay, where was I at? Somebody tell me where I was at. The widow, orphan, strangers. So Carol, the third reason that she wants to come to to Missouri and Arkansas to visit Carol and me is because she met a guy online and they thought they were in good enough relation, knew enough about Jesus to get married. So she shows up. They both show up on my driveway in the afternoon on Thursday, and we talked about it, and I realized this guy was amazing. He's a farmer that has all kinds of knowledge and equipment, and he's like, I think he's like maybe 60, 70 years old, probably 70, not in great health, but, you know, he just knows stuff. And I said, this guy is worth $1 million. When I told my friend John, before he came here, he was still in Kansas, and I was here, and about every 6 months I'd call him up, we'd talk, and we wouldn't say very much because we were both on the same page at that time, not now, at the same time, at that time, you know, pretty much on the same page, and didn't really talk too much because we didn't really feel like talking too much about anything. But I would end the conversation with, John, if you show up here with nothing but the shirt on your back, you'll be worth $1 million to me, to my work and ministry here, and you don't have to bring your wife. So she ended up tagging along afterwards. But anyway, the reason I said it is because he was a mechanic. He baled hay. He cut firewood. He did all kinds of. He was a beekeeper. Built a greenhouse. You know, raised chickens, raised animals, lived out. He's been a lifelong farmer. You know, raised livestock. He had that farm, a 6-acre farm in Kansas. He worked full time as a mechanic, and in spite of that, he had the farm about to where he could survive on what he made on the farm, on eggs and plant starts and firewood and everything else, baling hay. He was very meticulous about keeping track of that, and he was very good about it. And he said, I can just about live off what I make here. You know, coffee can for eggs, coffee can for plants. You know, they collected it up, and they did very good with it. So anyway, um, so Carol and Bud show up at noonish on Thursday. They go down to Arkansas. They meet, you know, spend time with Tom and Elisheba. They get back home, and she calls me and says, I got married. And I offered to walk her down the aisle. You know, I said, I'll walk you down the aisle, you know, you're not around. But on Sunday, she gets married to Bud in the little church in Wheatland. Okay. So I wrote her and I said, I called her, I said, hey, Carol. I emailed her. I think she emailed me and told me that. She didn't call me. I don't know. It doesn't make any difference. I told her, hey, Bud's worth $1 million. I said, that $100 been less back to you, you know, a bunch of times, and Bud's worth $1 million. And I thought, I wonder if I said anything to that. I just had this thought in my mind. I went back and found the email that I wrote to her when she sent me the $100. My reply to her when she sent me the $100 to help Sky, another widow, no, a woman that should have been a widow, would have been far better off as a widow. But anyway, she's one of the three women. I've known three women who had 8 children. Each woman had 8 children, and each one of them I tried to help through a really difficult time in their life when their husband was threatening to kill them and kill. So anyway, Sky was the third one, and the first one in my life. Okay, so Sky, Carol. So in the email, I had said, come back to the Widow's Mate, the movie I'm telling you to watch. Come back to that. And in the email, I had said, Carol, your $100 might be a widow's mite, M-I-T-E. But then again, it may be a widow's mite, M-I-G-H-T. It may have great and mighty, wow, ramifications in the kingdom of God, which got me $10,000 already. Wow. Oh, God. These things I haven't seen all these years, people. I'm putting all the connections together. It's amazing. I said, but then again, it may be a widow's mite, M-I-G-H-T, referencing the movie. A widow's very powerful because she has God on her side. Okay. And God has a very special place in his heart. Once again, I forgot the link at the end. I can't figure out how to get on my tablet. Anybody know? How do I get on my own stream? Doggone it. How do you do that? Somebody tell me that. Somebody out there knows about computers and to do that. Your current live streams. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm on. Come on. It's like it's on, yeah. Live chats there, maybe. Come on. It's buffering. Okay, I got it. Okay. Um, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. So, let me see where it's at. Chats there, maybe. Come on. Buffering. Okay, I got it. Okay. So there's a bit of a delay. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. So, let me see where it's at. That's what I'm doing right. Maybe that'll be better. Bit of a delay. Okay. Whoo, doggy. Wow. So I said to Carol in the email, what I had said was, because I thought $1 million, that's, what's a million divided by 10,000? Okay. I thought, what if I said something like that? Because I told her, I said, Bud's worth $1 million, at least $1 million. And then I got on, looked at it, and I said, it may be a widow's mite, M-I-T-E, it may be a widow's mite, M-I-G-H-T. May this $100 be blessed back to you about 20,000 times. So I excitedly got on the phone. I said, "Hey, it's worth $2 million." I said, like with John, saying, "John, you're worth $1 million to me." In the keeping people alive, and I want to stress again: if you read my book, and please read my book. You know, don't go to sleep tonight until you read my book. In the book, I state that Buckminster Fuller, who was a great man, great inventing genius, he's the guy that invented the geodesic dome, and back then it was like encrypted, state secret, government high grade military secrets on the how do you figure out the calculations on the dome to build a geodesic dome. Now you get the information anywhere. Anyway, the guy was a genius. He did a lot of really awesome things. He said he could put a geodesic dome over this whole city of Manhattan, the whole island of Manhattan. And the only problem would be anchoring it down because if the temperature raised too much, it would float away. Yeah, incredible. Free span. It's free span the most distance of anything else, any other structure in the world. Strongest. Stronger than a monolithic dome, because a monolithic dome you can't do that, too much weight. Until they invented the crenellated monolithic dome, which is basically a geodesic monolithic dome, by putting cable on it over it and then spraying the stuff in, so that it would make geodesic design and strengthen it. Now they can do about a kilometer on a monolithic dome. Anyway, Bunny trail, 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 bunny trail. Carol, may this be blessed back to you about 20,000 times. Blood was worth $2 million. Okay, and uh, and that's really what's happening is I'm seeing a geometric, progression of things that's happening as I speak, as we speak, as I speak. That's to speak these things into existence. So blood's worth $2 million. What's that got to do with anything? What's the 20,000 got to do with anything? Well, it has a lot to do with things, because what's 6 times 2? Oh my gosh, 6 times 2 is 12. So where do I go from here? Where do I started off with Jerry, Ozark brother Jerry? Hello, brother Jerry. Hope you're still listening. Um, Carol, Sky, Carol, Lori, Ellen Sheba. The widow that gave me the 10,000 said advised me to tithe on it and to do as much good as I could with it and to help as many people as I could. So that's what I did, and it's still in play. Like I said, there's still 10.6 rolls of it in play. That's what I spent for that mobile home that I don't have yet. I don't have a mobile home. I'm still homeless basically. I paid for a home that I don't have. How bizarre is that? You can't make these things up, people. You can't make these things up. How do you pay for a home and never get it? Bizarre. Okay, let me recuperate here for a minute. Um, Geodesic domes. That's not the topic of conversation, is it? I don't think so. R. Buckminster Fuller. Yes, it is. R. Buckminster Fuller. Okay. He stated this, and I've never heard a better description, better definition of wealth. And this is a man who is not a believer, and yet I see the proof or evidences or examples of what he says in Scripture. Okay. He said this: we now know what true wealth is. True wealth is the ability to regenerate forward life. In other words, how many people can you keep alive for how many days? Let me say that again. We now know what true wealth is. Let me look at the camera here. Oh, there's the camera. Yeah. We now know what true wealth is. True wealth is the ability to. I quote that in my book, and then I said, now, if you have a multi-million-dollar portfolio, if you think you're worth millions of dollars, and if you're not willing or not, okay, you're able, but you're not willing to have people stay alive, your wealth is nothing. You're worth nothing in the kingdom of God. And unfortunately, I got to say, there's people here that I've already talked about in this little diatribe. Okay. I'm going to speak something into existence here. I'm going to do something weird here in a minute. I'm going to preface it by saying this. I talk repeatedly about little Jack. This woman is 71 years old. She's been up on the top of her trailer trying to repair it, she by herself managed to get 4 by 8 sheets of plywood up on top of it and the metal. And she had all by herself, she had built a garage over it, a carport thing over it, and had tarps on it. Well, it's snow crushed it. She does not have a roof on her trailer. She's freezing. She's surrounded by meth dealers, Satanists. They've killed her cats, a lot of her cats, skinned them alive. Left one skinned it alive and put it on the porch. Still living. Can you imagine stepping on your porch and your cat has been no skin on it, and it's shaking and about in shock and everything. Okay, evil people, evil people. Guy breaks into an 80-year-old, her lady she calls mom, 80 years old, about 9 years older than her, but she takes care of her. She went up. The woman, like 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a man standing in her house, and he says, "If you do anything, if you call the cops, I will kill you. You are my minion." This is what Satan say. Notice if anybody uses the word minion, in my book, they're a Satanist. They're a witch. Because minion's a demon. Demons are minions. Well, a demon considers you a minion. I was told to my face I was a minion by someone here. So I have my suspicions. Anyway, Jack is over there by herself. Meth mountain, Satanists, demonic people. And within half an hour of her are two wealthy people that refuse to help her. Where do you think that's going to play out on the judgment day? I was cold and you didn't help me. I was homeless and you didn't. I was hungry. I was thirsty. Depart from me. I never knew you. Very sad. And the widow's thing comes into play here again because the widow should be helping her. I don't know. Okay, that's all, neither here nor there at this point. But I'm going to come back to that. Okay, so Carol, Sky, Carol, money, $100, $1 million, connections, widow. Oh, fiddly dee, Millie, come on. Where am I at? I don't know. I'm right here. Have your body where your mind is. Have your mind where your body is. Okay, hydrate. Okay. Um, Sky, Carol. Okay. So anyway, $100, $1 million. So fast forward. Is that what we're gonna do now? Yeah, fast forward. So one of my biggest concerns has been, mothers, single mothers, where they've been abandoned by their husbands and abandoned by society in a lot of cases, and just have been through hell. And in the case of these three women who had 8 children, one was named Kathy, one was named Kelly, and the third one was named Kimberly. Kathy, Kelly, and Kimberly. Yeah, and then I never put that together before, kind of, sort of, but not really. Kathy, Kelly, and Kimberly. And Sky, who's a Kimberly, changed her name. Sky Truth Bailey took a name for herself so she'd be completely divorced herself from her past. And she was part of a satanic family. I mean, evil. Her mother had deep hellfire in her eyes. Literally, she saw fire burning in her eyes one time. She was beaten as a child, thrown out on the streets in Denver at the age of 5 years old, beaten out of dumpsters and stuff. Someday I'll read the poem I wrote about her. So anyway, Kathy, Kelly. So I've had a soft spot, because I think it's. Here's my point: is that women who are married and then their husbands are abusive, severely, they beat them. I mean, the woman that I bought the farm with, she'd been beaten a lot. I'd hit her in the face, knock her down, she'd get back up. But would it be better? Would it be better that they were a widow or an abused wife? It's, in my book, an abused woman who's been beaten repeatedly, life threatened, broken back, and I know women who have been. Another one, Kathy. Another Kathy. Her husband, broke her back. Literally, she's crippled. Great amount of pain. She might be on now. I don't know. Kathy, baby. Yeah. That ties in with the widow too. Okay, so anyway, this is really weird. I haven't done this in a long time. So a woman who is abused and beaten and the children are at risk, our lives are at risk, would be better off as a widow if God would just pull the plug on that guy. Well, maybe if he had a retirement or something, they'd be okay, but that doesn't necessarily always work out. One of the women on one of the widows that I know is her husband was a high muckety muck in the aerospace industry, and he made really good money and had a really good retirement, had huge amounts of money. Well, he got cancer, and they lost everything. I mean, they bled him dry, and she was supposed to get a retirement, and they said, "Oh yeah, you'll get it. and they deliberately screwed her around, and they would not pay her anything. The insurance company just so she's just penniless. I don't know what she gets for income, but a little bit. She's a precious lady too. Um, don't tell me her name begins with Scott. No, her name begins with D. Deborah. Okay, a lot of Deborahs too. Deborah in Arkansas. Deborah in Missouri. Deborah here in Missouri. Another Deborah. Somebody's making noise out there. I don't like that. Okay, so I'm not going to get up and go check. Um, so widows would be better off being a widow. So anyway, okay, so bring it along. Fast forward. So single mothers. There's a single mother in Springfield because of the Well-Fed Neighbor Alliance. She and I were both part of the founding. Every Monday we would meet in Springfield and at the church and plan and do all kinds. We did all kinds of things. 10,000 garden project, 1,000 garden project in Springfield, 10,000 garden project in Missouri statewide, and $1,000,000 project in across the United States. Not that that'll happen, but I'm just saying that we had that vision of growing food for everybody in the state, everybody in the country. So no reason why we can't do it too. So okay, so moving right along. Galen Chadwick, the founder of the Well-Fed Neighbor Alliance, had gotten everybody that was on that founding committee out of Springfield onto farms, except for one woman. So I was like, oh, that sucks. So when I was the interview for Beyond Off Grid, I had a in-ground rocket stove in it that worked, thermal mass, and while I was there, I had the phone I had coveralls on. I had our cordless phone in my pocket, in the tool pocket on the side on my right side. And the phone rang, and I answered it, and the guy says, Jerry, there's some money here for you. I need to come get it. He said, I apologize. I was opening our mail, and it came to you, and it had your name on it. I slid it open. I already saw it. So, and I thought maybe it was an excuse because this is when I had a whole big problem with the salt order. I got behind on it, and big cluster F. Big part of the story, though. Because of that, how can I tell all this? I don't know. Yeah, real briefly, I sold a semi-load of sea salt. I did that 4 times. I sold 4 semi-loads of sea salt. Okay. Well, this one, a guy had wanted 6 tons of it. He spaded on his crops for his cattle, and the only one that did that I know of. So there was allegedly a drop-off fee, and so we were going to drop it off. So the guy was going to leave on I don't know, Wednesday or something like that, and the driver was coming out of Mexico, Cia Cortez, sea salt. So how'd that all happen? Oh yeah, I hadn't even sent in the payment yet, and they shipped it. So the guy's en route. And I called. I got a hold of They gave me the phone number of the driver, and I called the driver. I said, "So you're going to leave tomorrow?" He goes, "No, I left yesterday." I said, "Where are you at?" He goes, "Yeah, where this guy was right down the road. It was a B word, not Bolivar, Butler. Yeah." I said, "Where? How long before you get to Butler?" He said, "About 2 minutes." I said, "Take the turn off there." And I got him with the guy, and made the delivery. And next thing you know, he got his stuff, and I got my stuff offloaded and everything. But what happened was, I told the guy, I said there might be a delivery charge, and he says, "Well, let me know." And so we're texting back and forth, And at one point, I said, "Look," he said, I didn't get a bill for it. I didn't get a bill for the $150, and I said, "Look, let's leave it at this. I didn't know there was going to be a delivery fee, and I didn't tell you there was going to be a delivery fee, so let's just leave it at this. If you don't owe me anything, but if you do send me anything, I will consider it a donation." You got to watch what you say, because God holds you to it. If you send me money, it will be a donation. So I go to the steel plant to pick up. That's where the salt was delivered to pick up the check that came in the mail that the guy opened, the meth plant owner opened, and it's for $600. I'm like, oh wow. So I cashed it, and ended up going to Springfield, and this mom with 3 kids, the only person that hadn't been gotten out of Springfield, ends up being an ice storm. One of those ice storms you just don't drive. If you're stupid, you drive. You try to drive somewhere. I didn't have to get anywhere. I had to get back home, but not right away. So I didn't. So we both stayed at a friend of theirs house, Steve and Joanne. Real awesome people that I wish I would have been in touch with more, but for different reasons. He made walking sticks, really cool walking sticks. Artist. Oh my gosh, woodworker. Oh my gosh. Anyway, shut up. Back to the story here. So we're there, and my phone rings, and this is Amish guy. This is such a bunny trail. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do the whole thing. Okay. So my phone rings, and it's an Amish guy that owns a farm and telling me it's for rent. But at this point, I got to back up and tell you why I know about the farm. My son-in-law, Jeff, flipped metal. He calls it flipping metal. He buys metal and sell it, He's addicted to scrap metal. He takes my daughter on a date, and they go to Anna on a date. Oh, cool. We're at the scrap metal yard. Yeah, okay. Where else would you go with your favorite girl than a scrap metal yard, That's Jeff. But in doing that, this is the cool thing about it is that he was fulfilling what I wrote in my book, that we need, secondhand, like you have secondhand thrift stores. They have a Habitat for Humanity, where you have construction materials for building homes. Always doing that for scrap metal. He go to the metal yard, and he knew what it was, and he got so many good deals. One day I got a whole bunch of stainless steel kitchen stuff. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm in Missouri, Sean. Yeah. Cedar County. Okay. Was that Zimbabwe at the bottom on there? I'm here, but need to something other daylight. Okay, listen to you later. Okay, bye-bye. So, yeah, I'm trying to get this all down, because this is so, and I'm seeing things as I'm telling it that I've never even seen before over a period of 10 years, so things are happening. God is working. Hallelujah. Oh, man. All right, so he gets scrap metal, he flips it. Well, there was a family that had moved here from like Wisconsin or somewhere. I don't even know where they came from. And there's going to be a whole lot of things. This is going to get weird. It may take another 3 days to tell all this. Bunny trail. Because I'm on a bunny trail. I got to rewind, but I'm on a rewind bunny trail. So, one Friday night, Jeff would do this. He would load up. He would do things on Sabbath night. So, he kept Sabbath very carefully. So he, Friday night, preparation day, he had loaded up his Toyota, whatever van. This thing's been beat to hell and back. The one with a really long nose on it. He had a huge stack of tin on that. Because his family, like, there are holes in the wall, one old shed or something. They stayed in a shed through their first 2 winters, I think it was. They're looking for land. This was their 5th expedition down here looking for land with good topsoil. And they finally found it and bought a place, as far as I know. They kind of skip around. So he had this van loaded up. On Friday night, he had his van all loaded up with a whole bunch of tin to take to them so they could beef up their shelter. And I said, do you want to go with me? I said, sure. So Saturday night, after church and everything, Sabbath night, we go out and we go over to their place, and it's still daylight and all that. And it's one of the things he'd like to do on a Sabbath. You get there, and I kid you not, the second we came up the driveway, I had this overwhelming sense of peace, of blessing, of beauty. It was just a beautiful farm, beautiful house. Oh, just, beautiful garden. And so that's why I knew about it. I had this overwhelming sense of peace and safety there. So when my phone rings, just rewind or fast forward. Yeah, fast forward to back to where I was talking about being in Springfield, ice storm. Phone rings. Amish guy named David says, that farmer's for rent. And I said, well, how much is it? He said $300 a month rent and $300 down damage deposit. And I'm like, $600. Six done deal. So that night, I'm thinking there because this lady's single mom had said that her ex-husband would help her out. He's pretty good about herself, send her money once in a while, and that she Messianic congregation there, and so I'm thinking, so Messianic congregation, husband helps her money. How can I get that $600 back? Nobody knew I had it. It's not that big of a deal. But that my mom, I'm always thinking, how do I get this money back? Maybe the congregation can give me some, and the husband can pay me some, and pay me the money back, my money back. But remember, I had said, if you send me anything, this will be I will consider it a donation. So I had forgotten that, obviously. I'm thinking about how I can get my money back. So I go to sleep that night, and I wake up in the morning, and just, how you wake up sometimes and your eyes pop open like, and I don't know if you can see me there. The chat thing's in the way. But so I wake up in the morning, and in my mind, clear as can be, I hear, freely you have received, freely give. And I immediately, just not a split second, I said, I can do that. Then I hear very clearly, very forcefully, if a grain of wheat unless a grain of wheat fall on the ground, grain fall on the ground and die, it remains alone, not wheat. The wheat came later. I was in. Okay, sorry. Dead. It's buried. It's never going to be brought up again. Never be seen again. Never be. It's nothing. I'll never ask or apply or anything to get that money back. No hints. No request. It is forgotten. Okay, gone forever. Buried, and maybe it'll grow someday. And then I heard, so what did I just say in my mind? I didn't see this until just now. Wow, this is really heavy. Okay, freely you receive, freely give. Okay, I could see that verse coming to mind at random, coincidence. But then the next one, freely unless a grain fall on the ground and die, it remains alone. I can do that. Yeah, do that. Done. It's dead. It's buried. But it's not going to remain alone because it's going to grow, right? It's going to come to seed, come to fruition, and produce some 60, some 100-fold, But the next thing was, the deal was for 12 million. Do the math, and that was louder than the first two. I mean, I kid you not. It was like, the deal was for 12 million. Do the math, very forcefully, very forcefully. What does that mean? Well, another bunny trail. Sorry. Okay, go back up. Rewind. In my story, not right here, but I haven't been there yet with this when I'm telling you guys here. So, friends, let me tell you this. Many years ago, I don't know how many years ago, but a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, a guy, Mike Leathers, and this is going to come into a bunch of other bunny trail things because this guy is so bizarrely connected to this whole thing anyway, too. One day, Mike and I were talking, and he said, Jerry, you and I both know that it's going to take about $12 million to do what I both needs to get done as far as, food and shelter and greenhousing and medical, communication and everything. And I said, yeah. He said, so let's do this. Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. He said, and we shook on it. He said, if Father gives you $12 million, give me 6 of it. If he gives me 12 million first, I'll give you 6. And we shook hands on it. We made a deal. We shook hands on it. Okay. Didn't cut our hands or spit on our palm or nothing, but we shook hands on it. So it was a deal. We made a deal. So here I am. This is maybe 10 years later. I don't know. Many years later. Laying in bed, thinking about how do I get my $600 back? Freely receive, freely give. Unless a grain fall on the ground and die, it remains alone. The deal for 12 million. Do the math. So I'm sitting there in my mind. 12 million. So the only figure I could multiply it by would be $600. So I took the $600, which is dead now, buried, and the only thing I knew to more $2 million. So I took 20,000 times six. 6 times 2 is 12. $12 million. Oh my gosh. I had just buried $600. What is that $600 going to become? $12 million. Hallelujah. Oh, wow. Still waiting, but now oddly enough, too, this widow that sent me the $10,000. She wanted to. She said, I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of going to bed alone. I want to get married. So twice she approached me about marriage. And one time I said, I'd be willing to walk. The first time I said I'd be willing to walk away from everything here, my my stuff. I'll come back and get it later. But I'd be willing to walk away from everything right now and come over and help you, and be a husband. And she said, well, you can walk away from that and become a millionaire. I'm like, cool. So that went south for her because she got funny on me. And then I'm trying to not be critical of people because she's been a blessing. She's been a blessing to a lot of people, but she has some major issues. So pray for her. And I pray that everybody that this prophecy the other day about Jezebel's being delivered would definitely apply to her. And she admitted it to me one time. She got I don't know if I've been infused or whatever by Jezebel. Yes, the answer is yes, absolutely, definitely. Lots of signs of it. There's like 29, 30, 100 characteristics, and she discovers a lot of them. Anyway, if she hears this, I hope she doesn't get mad. Sorry, Anyway, truth hurts, but it's truth, and it heals. Truth also heals. It hurts, but it heals. You got hurt, and you got to heal. Okay, so um, then the second time, I made a statement that, well, I've always believed that I would get $12 million for doing things, and I already had them. The second time, I was like, this is really cool, man. She would come out and pick me up. We were going to go off and stuff, my farm, my family farm, and put it in my son-in-law's hands, give it to him to administer. Because I see people that, and let me back up a little too, just back up somewhat, because somewhere about 2008 or 9, I actually wrote to six people, and asked them to give me a budget. I don't know what prompted me to do. I don't have any idea. Give me a budget. If I give you $1 million, what would you do with it? And three people responded. I remember those three people's names. The other three I don't remember. But I had it in my heart and my plans to give away $6 million. I had nothing in my mind about me at the time, but now later on this $12 million deal, this was before the $12 million, because when I got the $12 million, made the $12 million deal with Mike, I'd bumped mine to 18 million because I wanted to give away six, give him six, and be left with six. That was the deal. Our deal was, you get six, I get six. Well, in this case, if I only get the 12 million, then he gets six, and I have to give away 6 million, and I don't have anything. So whatever, I don't care. So 6 million, do the math. The deal was for 12 million, do the math. Okay, so in my mind, like I said, I just 10,000, 20,000 times 6, 12 million. Oh my gosh. Because 100 times 10,000, 100,000 times 20, $100 times 20,000 I knew was 2 million. So when the 600 is 6 times 1, and so 6 times the 20,000 is 12 million. Oh, wow. Didn't take me too long to figure. Anyway, I was stunned. I was awed, by that. So I raised mine to 18 million, and years later I was talking, admitted that to Mike, and he said, well, mine went to 22 million because of something, and his life thought it happened. So his is at 22 million, mine's at 18 million, so he's 4 million ahead of me. So, yeah, very phenomenal. So I don't know, it's exciting to me. Maybe it doesn't mean it. Maybe I'm just boring everybody to tears. I don't know. If so, I apologize. But actually, no, the earlier day, I want to say like Conor McGregor, and I want to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody. I don't apologize to anybody. It's my story. It's my saga. If it's interesting to somebody, it's great. If not, oh well. I think there's lessons to learn, So when God gives you something, you say it's a donation. It's a donation. I gave that money to him. I said it's the donation, and I gave it away. I rented a farm with it, and it resulted in my divorce, no question, because that was a situation. That single mom is one that got me divorced. I'm not that we did. Never did anything. I mean, absolutely, you know. Um, but just was very bizarre. And Carol came back into play too. That's even weirder. It's all Carol's fault I'm divorced. Jeez. Yukon Jack. 1/5 of Yukon Jack will get you divorced. No, I didn't drink it. Oh man. Very bizarre. Wow. Okay, so where am I at? Are we done? Are we done? We haven't got to Ozark Brother Jury yet, so we got to get back to that. Okay. So anyway, that's the whole widow saga, my Arkansas widow expedition, and going back to, my gosh, going back to before I got married, widow saga. Kathy should have been a widow. Kelly. Let me drop in on Kelly. Kelly, middle one. The middle wife, the middle one. The middle widow, the middle distressed wife. It would have been better off as a widow, okay? So she was very similar to me. She had a burden, I mean, for helping people. She said, this burden is almost killing. And I said, yep, it is. I totally understood what she was saying. And she came into my life, back into my life. She considered my wife and I, Elaine and I, as her parents, or her godparents, or whatever. She made that statement. She saw us both as, she saw me as a father and saw Elaine as a mother. So during that, there was a certain period of time when she was going through the hell with her husband being threatened to be killed and kill all children. And I kind of counseled her, coached her, talked to her through that, visited with her, helped her through that time. And she told me at one point in time she was in a vision, and she's in a river, and she's hanging onto the bank, desperately hanging onto the bank, and there's an angel standing above her. And he said, you have to let go. And she's like, if I let go, I'll drown. He said, if you don't let go, you'll drown. So she let go, and instantly she's out in the river, and all of a sudden the sky was full of hundreds of angels. And from that, she has overwhelming sense of love and everything. And from that point in time, she said, Jerry, I've never had another second of fear since that point, since that vision. Very powerful, very real, very much from God, from heaven. So, um, got a 1 minute delay there. Oh. So Kelly, this is really cool. Kelly would have been better off as a widow than be beaten and everything and threatened. Had 8 children by this time. 8 children. And, I counseled her through this point in time, go through it. I kid you not, she met a man, oh gosh, who had never been married. A Christian man who had never been married. Not a divorcee, not he had never been married. But he had built a shop house. He had 2 bays you could park semis in. And both of them had some kind of semi. One had a semi lift, and the other one had another semi lift, but a different kind, like a pit or something. I don't remember the whole thing. Big house. The house part, he built the house part with 9 bedrooms. He built this. He already built this house before he met this woman, Kelly. He built a house for a woman with 8 children. And you go to scrapyards like my son-in-law, and he found one time at a metal yard a circular staircase, a beautiful, gorgeous circular staircase, and he bought it, and he incorporated it into the house. If you people don't think that God knows your hearts and your dreams as a little child, he does. He knows your dreams. He knows your heart. He knows, and he has plans for you. Just believe it. One of Kelly's dreams from the time she was a little girl was to have a circular staircase. And she got it. And they married, and I don't know if she's okay now. And because of that, too, she became a midwife, and she became a very excellent midwife. And I don't know how she's doing now, but we've talked on the phone. She does some brilliant things. So, okay. That was just a little side bunny trail, but we're back. Okay. Okay, the heck with all this. Okay, let's get back to where I started at. Jerry. Ozark Brother Jerry, how you doing? Hope you're still in there. Or come back and listen to this again. So, Ozark Brother Jerry, the Arkansas Widow Expedition Sermon. That's where I all started from. It's all Ozark Brother Jerry's fault. So, during that Arkansas Widow Expedition, one of the things I did was I took one of the widows, Elisheba, to a doctor's appointment. Oh, man. Cliff, don't start me on that. Chinese doctor. The hospital's there in Harrison, no, in Mountain View, Mountain Grove, big place, Arkansas, Mountain View, yeah. The hospital in the area, if they had cases where the people were dying and they didn't know what to do and they didn't really care to try to do anything new, they didn't have insurance or something, they'd say, hey, go see this guy. He never lost a single person. So, blood flow. It was all qi, quite qigong or whatever, qigong gong. Anyway, qigong. What are that? Chinese medical stuff, medicine stuff. Not Tai Chi, I think Qigong, something like that. Anyway, don't make any difference. Took her there. She was going to a women's retreat at Camp Fairhaven. Okay. Leah, if you're on when you hear this, Camp Fairhaven. I took her to Camp Fairhaven. Camp Fairhaven. And I go on bunny trails on that one for a long time, too. Heck, let me do that. This camp, there's a man who was a preacher and the pastor in the Seventh Adventist Church. And he preached several times at this one church. And the second or third time he preached, kind of talking about his, maybe talking about what he'd like to see done. I have no idea. I heard this personally from the man that preached at Wes. He said, I think it was the third time he said, this old man comes up the aisle to him and he goes, would you like to have 100 acres? And Wes goes, for your idea. And he goes, I'd love to, but we can't afford that. The guy says, I'm not talking about selling it to you. I'm talking about giving it to you. This old man gave them 100 acres with a stipulation that it would be used for Sabbath keeping, for feast keeping, and for refugees when the time came. That's right there where the property we've been looking at. Right by Nathan Snow. Which, by the way, I want to say that again, too, if I haven't. After the divorce, I would be dead if it weren't for certain people. I'm not going to name all of them, but I'm going to name two of them. Bill here, I mentioned earlier, he said, you can have that air series as long as you need it. I said, I'll need it until I die. And Nathan Snow. Nathan Snow helped me out. He'd send me money, buy something from me that I needed. I sold him a stove, sold him a oven that I still had, and, he's got salt from me. Awesome brother. One of the dearest friends on earth to me. And so anyway, from Camp Fairmont, I drive around. I found this one property. It was for sale, and it was so cool, so neat. I had such a good sense. I had no idea how much acres. I never called on it because I didn't have any money. But I took about 100, literally about 100 pictures of it. I have my phone back then. From back then, I could show you the pictures. Had a neat little rock building, and that had 2 stories and stuff, and it was just so exquisitely cool. Turns out it was 30 acres, but I prayed that somebody good would buy it. Somebody that a believer would buy it. Nathan Snow bought it. 30 acres, beautiful place. Oh my gosh, very cool, very cool. Within spitting distance, walking distance of Camp Fairhaven, about 2 miles away, less than 2 miles away. Wow. Another property we're looking at is about another 2 miles away in the other direction. So I'm hoping somebody from that's listening to me right now will buy it, be blessed to buy it, being able to buy it. Hallelujah. Okay, somebody will buy that. Somebody good will buy that property we're looking at, whether it's you guys or not, Leah. Somebody will buy. Somebody good will buy it. But I'm praying it'll work out. That you do, because it's close and it's nice and it's a sweet area. Okay. Ozark, Brother Jerry. Okay, so I was took Elisheba to a women's retreat at Camp Fairhaven. I was hungry. Drive for about 3 or 4 hours by that time. Doctor appointment, no, nothing to eat, and nibble on little things here and there. So the guy that runs the place, Dan, I think his name's Dan Smith. He is a pastor in Marshfield, if I'm not mistaken. And they said, "Do you want to come in for lunch?" And I was like, "Sure." Vegan stuff, but whatever. I've learned to eat it. So I come out, I eat dinner, I eat lunch, and I'm feeling kind of weird because there's like 30 women in the room and I'm the only guy, and I get done eating. This woman comes over and sits next to me, and she says, "Are you Jerry Diamond?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I knew it. I recognized your voice. My husband and I sit down and watch your videos all the time." And I'm like, "Who's your husband?" Tell me. Jerry Hammond. I'm like, "I don't know who that is." So finally, I said, "Well, I'm on YouTube. You know that. You guys do anything with YouTube?" And she goes, "Yeah, my husband has a channel, Ozark Brother Jerry." I said, "Oh, Ozark Brother Jerry. He's more famous here than me." So that's very cool. Hey, Jerry. Hallelujah. So now, one time I walked into a meeting there, a feast day, and who was they introduced? The guy introduced me to two people, I believe. But this guy introduced me, Mike. I don't know if he's still alive, but he introduces me to the two guys by saying, "This man is a legend," and I'm like, a legend in my own mind, kind of self-deprecatingly, but anyway, that was pretty cool. But one time I'd be there and I'd say, talk about my map, the map I had. "Oh, I've seen your map. I've seen your map." They'd hear my name and they go, "I've seen your map on YouTube, on the internet. Wow, very cool. Anyway, those are just a couple of side notes there. But Ozark Brother Jerry, hello. I took a long time to say hello, Ozark Brother Jerry. Thank you for your video on cell phone booster things. Cell phone booster. And it didn't really do the guy any good because the problems with the tower, not with the radio thing. But I want to get one over here, hopefully someday soon. Try to remember to do that one month. So people, we've got a lot of things to do, a lot of money to spend. $18 million, $12 million out here. Got to spend some money. Where is my other thingy bubber? Glasses. That's fine. Yeah, those are good. I don't need them. I get this one. I'm going to read about comments now. So I finally said my hellos to Ozark Brother Jerry. A lot of things to do. A lot of pieces. Pieces running around in my mind. Pieces of the puzzle, and they're coming together, people. So be happy. Now go back to Jack. Maybe right now. Little Jack on Meth Mountain. It would be nice if some wealthy people, but I'm telling you, something has to happen. And with these prophecies, don't mess with God's anointed. Do not come against God's anointed. And what else did he say? I don't remember. He's raising up. I got that one again. Do you guys remember that one? I can find it on my phone, but I can't. The only I can do it on my tablet here is history. So I'm going to scroll back through my history. And if I can find it. Why? break. I cry you patience. Or, yeah, please be patient with me. I'll get there eventually. Come on. Create the sun. Oh. In there. I sent out links for. I'll put them all in here. He learned truth from God, Jesus, in his near-death experience. Jason Janis. That was very interesting. And then God is raising up an army, people that have been isolated in training for years. Yeah. And this one, prophetic word, vision and declaration, prayer over prodigals. Prodigals are going to be restored, and Jezebel is going to be broken. I could see that in a lot of people in my life. But this one here, I'm going to play it. I don't think you'll be able to hear it because I'm going to turn it up so I can hear it anyway. Where is it? Play it. I don't think you'll be able to hear it because I'm going to turn it up so I can hear it. Guys, I had to write this down. This is something the Lord just gave me. You can take it for what it's worth. The people that God is raising up are not on here for fortune and fame or to be in the spotlight. These are the people that have been isolated and have been in training for years. Guys, I had to write this down. This is something the Lord just gave me. You can take it for what it's worth. The people that God is raising up are not on here for fortune and fame or to be in the spotlight. These are the people that have been isolated and have been in training for years without even knowing it. For such a time as this. And this army, some have done rose up and some have not come out yet. Their voice will shake the dead branches from the tree, and their tongue will be as clothing tongues of fire. Touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. They are untouchable. I wonder if you can see. Can anybody hear that? I'm going to play it again. My microphone is... I don't even know where the microphone is. Must be a condenser mic. Must be that one right there. Guys, I had to write this down. This is something the Lord just gave me. You can take it for what it's worth. The people that God is raising up are not on here for fortune and fame or to be in the spotlight. These are the people that have been isolated and have been in training for years without even knowing it. Such a time as this. And this army is many. Some have done rose up and some have not come out yet. Their voice will shake the dead branches from the tree, and their tongue will be as clothing tongues of fire. Touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. They are untouchable. Oh, go away. Crap. Hit the back button. Where's the back button? You should have this like this. Yeah. Back button. Where's my back button? Come on. I remembered how to do it. I did it once. That's not it. There we go. Okay. Stupid thing. Yes, hearing your prophetic voice loud and clear. Ha. What about the prophecy on that I played there? Did you hear that one? That guy? That's amazing. That thing is so heavy. So I've never heard anything so short, so brief, so concise, so powerful. I think in my entire life. The ones I am raising up, the ones who are on here are not on here for fortune and fame or to have the spotlight. They've been isolated for many years. What What's that word he used? That phrase. For such a time as this, they've been prepared for such a time as this. That phrase has been on my heart for so many years. Yeah. So, oh God, it's my thingy. Sorry about that. Get that light out of your eyes. Such a time as this, their voice shall shake the branches of the trees. They shall be as cloven tongues of fire, or whatever. Do not harm my people. They are untouchable. Touch not my anointed. They are untouchable. I think I could probably memorize that easily word for word. Once if I could see it, I could really memorize it. Okay, I'm going to go back to the comments and see what's whooping here. Hey, ZZ, I'm going to call you ZZ, okay? Or do you want Zim or Zach? Zach or ZZ, one knows who you are. You say hearing your prophetic voice loud and clear. Well, I'm not saying I'm prophetic voice or nothing, but I appreciate that. That was not me talking. I hope you know that. That was some other guy. Well, hello. I missed the notification that you were on. Oh, Mary, how you doing? Can you say back shortly? Okay. Hopefully Mary will come back. Hearsay Henderson. Hearsay Henderson. Okay. Hearsay. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? What's going on? Where you at? And, you know what I can answer any questions or do anything for you. He's going to listen later. Sean says, are you in Yapman, Missouri, Cedar County, about an hour north of Springfield, hour drive time north of Springfield. If you find Humansville, Missouri, I'm 15 minutes west of that and walking distance from Kaplinger Mills. Common sense. Hi. Tony, what do you want? Matthew, Mark 12:43. And he called unto him his disciples and saith unto them, verily I say unto you that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which have cast into the treasury. Thank you. Absolutely. The widow's mite, M-I-G-H-T. She threw in 2 mites with make a farthing. Yeah. And that's going to be, the situation. The little people are going to say, in my book I said, you may have what you think is you may think you're a millionaire, and this woman over there may think she's a millionaire. But is she a millionaire in the kingdom of God's sight, or is someone who only puts in 2 mites going to be worth more than her? And I think it's going to be a grassroots movement, really. We're going to see a lot of people come in and a lot of people working together. Oddly enough, this very woman, this widow, told me that there's over there near her, there's a river. There's a bunch of people camped out on the river. I don't know if it's through the winter, but but a little community of people on the river, homeless people, and that's pretty cool. I think there's gonna be more of an effort or more things done for the kingdom by people camping out, homeless people that have learned how to make do with nothing. And ZZ is one, Zimbabwe Zach, Jack is another one. Making do with nothing. Those are the people who are going to raise up the kingdom. The Tinkers. John Bunyan, author of Pilgrim's Progress, the greatest book ever written in the history of mankind, other than the Bible, in my book, my estimation. A tinker out of Bedford, a vagrant often quad, a homeless guy often jail. A tinker out of Bedford, a vagrant often quad, a soldier under Fairfax, a minister of God. 200 years and 30 ere Armageddon came, his single hand portrayed it, and Bunyan was his name. He mapped for those who follow that take the holy war. He mapped for those who follow the world in which we are. He mapped for those who follow that take the holy war. Map for those who follow the world in which we are. Whatever, I may get that last line right, but I can look it up. Okay, so anyway. Bunyan. Pilgrim's Progress. Our company was Pilgrim's Products, so I get them confused. Pilgrim's Progress, John Bunyan. was a vagrant, a homeless guy. Yeah, and that man did more to change the world, Christianity, through that book than anybody else. Really, it's always the little people. Let me give you another little people. This is going to be very hard. I would have had four if it weren't for some crazy thing that happened. But all three of my sons are named after great people in Christian history. His middle name was Edwards Diamond. My youngest son, Isaac, is named after Isaac Watts, great hymn writer. My middle son is named after David Brainerd. David Brainerd would have been the son-in-law of Jonathan Edwards. So Ian's named after Jonathan Edwards. My second son was named after would have been his son-in-law. And it definitely would have been, because he was in love with Jerusha, Jonathan Edwards' oldest daughter. I dreamed the other night about Jerusha. That was really weird. I had a very clear dream about Jerusha. Anyway, David Brainerd was a missionary to the Indians in early America. And for all you that, whatever, I'm not going to make any comment on that. I'm just going to tell you the truth. This man would pray, and he would kneel in prayer for like 8 and 9 hours at a time. He would kneel in knee-deep snow and pray. And there were times when he was preaching, and he would be preaching, and the Indians were all drunken and violent and things. And he was preaching one day, and there was a sound of rushing wind, and the Indians all fell to their faces, just knocked out. Call it slain in the spirit, whatever. You Baptists don't believe in that stuff. That's kind. I don't doubt there's any Baptists don't believe that stuff on here listening to me. The whole group of Indians was flattened. When they were standing up, they were drunkards and violent and threatening to kill people. They hit their face. When they rose up, they had no alcoholics. All of them were completely converted, totally saved. There's a sound of a mighty rushing wind when that happened. Move of the Holy Spirit, very similar to the Book of Acts. If I remember right, I think there were 3,000 of them there. 3,000 Indians that were boom flattened, passed out, and saved. So, but when I first became a believer, I started reading books, and I started reading books about prayer and reading books about revival. Why Revival Tears by Leonard Ravenhill. And one of his great books was Sodom Had No Bible. In other words, if God doesn't judge America right pretty soon, he's going to have to apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah. Kind of. But to say it even more succinctly, Sodom had no Bible, and look what happened to Sodom. We've got hundreds of Bibles. We're in deep shit, people. We're in really deep shit, judgment-wise.
Guys, I had to write this down. This is something the Lord just gave me. You can take it for what it's worth. The people that God is raising up are not on here for fortune and fame or to be in the spotlight. These are the people that even know for such a time as this. And this army is many. Some have done rose up, and some have not come out yet. Their tongue will be as clothing tongues of fire. Touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. They are untouchable.
I think that applies to a lot of us. They're, right now, they've been isolated for many years for such a time as this. Wow. Dum dum dum. Get out of there. Go away. Go away. I know it's right there somewhere. Come on. Not yet. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Done something different. Where's that sandwich over here? Zap the kaboom. I'm a listener. Indiana here. Indiana wants me, but I can't go back there. There you go. Oh, I found it. I found it. It's plain sight too. Stupid, funky-headed knucklehead. Um, Indiana. Guess what? Both the people that complained that they couldn't listen to me at night are from Indiana. Maybe you can help better. Don and whatever your name. Again, you both complained you couldn't hear me at night, so yeah, Don should be on. That's really. He said I worked that an hour, so. I said, are you off, and what day are you off, and what hours can you listen to? So, Zimbabwe Zach knows what I'm doing. No, she doesn't. Maybe she does. You're live. Why did I go not live? Uh, Yummy, yummy. Okay. Hang on. Almost there. Stay on target. Almost there. Stay on target. Nobody showed. Nobody has still. Nobody has answered yet. Nobody has answered what my thing about what was the what was I humming the other night? Come on, somebody should be able to recognize that. Anybody from my world? Jeez. The guy that I was humming to today was helping me move my stuff out of my house because my wife told me to get out, and instantly recognized it. And he got so tired of me singing it, he said, I don't know whether to beat you up or pound you into a pulp or keep helping you. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, your wife's telling you to get out, you're going to be divorced, and you're humming that, and you're saying, we're going to have a lot of fun, we're going to have so much fun, we're going to have so much fun. And I'm sick of hearing that. Well, unfortunately, he's not on the same page as me. He's here, but I feel sorry for him, put it that way. All right, let me get a drink. So I finished the widow thing, I think. Maybe, possibly. Okay, Ozark brother Jerry started us off with, how are you doing, Jerry? How are you doing, Jerry? How are you doing, Jerry? That set me up on the widow expedition summer and my saga. Solar SBI. Hi, all. Jim here at Solar Hive. I live near Rolla, developing an off-grid permaculture homestead near Eminence. Oh, I remember. Yeah, Eminence. You're the one that's going to build a citadel. I'm here to assist 40-year-old enable. Oh my gosh, wish you weren't so dang far away. You're not that far away, really. Are you Ocelli? Is that you? Ocelli. I believe that's, if I'm not mistaken, two different names. Jim. Solar SBI. Zapped and kaboom. Hey, yep. Every haven't seen heard anything back from you, Jeremiah Shine, Michael Quinn. Hey. Howdy. Terry Bell. Where are you at? I'd like to just kind of like to know what part of the country you're in. If you're in if you're kind of moving or thinking about your life, what your family situation is like. I'd kind of like to know that about, everybody here. A lot of y'all know Tony. How you doing? Tony's gonna get his ass down here someday. I'm in South Carolina. Hey, okay, my daughter's in North Carolina. I think we went through that before, but yeah, I'll try to remember. I am sorry. Yeah, I'm a listener. Yeah, that's fine. Absorb all you want, research all you want. Bring BYOB, like being your own bottle. Bring your own research. BYOR, bring your own research to the party. Remember it, archive it, stash it away. You'll use it. You'll be able to help people. Okay, Zimbab. Zimbab said I can call her a Zimbab. Okay. Mary's going to be back shortly. Hershey Henderson again. Where are you from? How you doing? Anything we can help you with? Any questions? Sean, same thing. Where are you at? Any questions I can help you with? And I want to say this too. I try to always say this, but after this uploads, it'll be probably tomorrow morning before it uploads. But you can go on there and you can write on the comment section. You can hopefully do comments, live comments, but I can't do that now. It hasn't uploaded them from yesterday. It's really crazy. Maybe they've been held for you. Maybe they've been trashed now. I don't know. Maybe we said something that we shouldn't have said. Nobody got the joke. It said they all came the title, and they all came together in one accord. That means it's a pretty small group, right? Live chat. Hey, cool. The one I did last night. Hey, it's on. Yeah, very much. Leah said, hi, Jerry. Are you hiding? Jack Green said, that's all I can see right now. That's kind of weird. So what's the other one? The one before that was very important. We were going to have so much fun, yeah. Sorry, I'm curious. Live chat. Look up Pilgrim Products. British Brickhill water filters. There we go. Products. Cylinder filters. Paid for both of those. Susan D. from Arkansas. We had an awesome year. We sold more stoves. Susan, how you doing? Oh, that's what you're not on. That was last night. I'm looking at the we're gonna have so much fun one. Get it over here a little bit more. Let's go back. What was the campfire one? My wife, yeah, we did a lot of things. I mean, we did rainbow together, rainbow vacuum cleaners. They all came together in one accord. That was the camp watch fire one. Box, maybe. And it shows live chat. Rock. Drop the rock on the ground. Though. Last time I dropped it. Okay. Small group because they get in one accord. Pretty small car. We need to establish a foundation or association to collect funds to help people move. I have a Facebook. Shut up. Sorry. I have a Facebook page called Ozark Plateau Refugee Relocation Association Headquarters, something like that. And I have a Patreon page. Yeah, we got a handcar company level, the Watchtower Company, the Houses of Healing, and City. 4 different levels on Patreon. Got some good pictures and ideas on it if you can find them. My point is that we could do a GoFundMe or something like that that's conducive to a crowdfund of this conversion, helping good causes, whatever that's conducive to that. There are different ones, GoFundMe and whatever the best one is for that. But Mary out there in Pennsylvania needs to get out here. Some bubbles. Malia, Salt and Light Gypsy in Virginia, I believe. And several of them need help. And some of those are single mothers. I think Amalia Salt and Light is a single mother. Mary is a single mother. I've got contact with a single mother already here in the Ozarks that wants to get in touch with me. And what's her name? Tamara. She was on just the other night. Yeah, Tamara. Want to get in touch with them, get together with her and her boys. She says she's got three grown. She says she's got three grown boys that can be a big help. Well, let's get do it. So anyway, yeah. Somewhere or another, we need to get a, like I said, a continuous immigration fund going. Look at it as an investment. Somebody's got a bunch of knowledge and tools. Invest in them so they can get here and pay you back your investment. That's what we should do. Who can run a bank? Who can we run a bank? An investment firm. Invest in people. That's what they see. That's what they did with the, and how one, two of you do. At least, I'm not sure how many more, but my family, because of, partly because of the Mormons. Back in '93, when I first woke up the second time, I was in a shower one day and I was just thanking God for all the good things I saw going on. Hallelujah. Oh, thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for that. And then it hit me that the entire is the Mormon Church. And I just thank God for the Mormon Church. If it wasn't for that, there would be no long-term food storage systems. So, okay, God, I read about going one. We got one on right now. That sucks. Too bad. Okay, so anyway, anybody out there right now? I'm gonna can this one. It's 2 hours, and I've just read that thing. So I want to say, I was going to do this earlier, and I should have done it when I first thought of it. But I want to. Who's on right now? Tell me who's on. I didn't know a name. Who's listening to me right now? Come on. How do I find my stream back? Oh, I can do this. Do it myself. How do I? I'm still streaming, aren't I? Yeah. Yep. Talk. The talk is clicking. The clock is ticking. Where am I at? Close that one. Live. Duh. Nope. That ain't it. Oh man. I'm trying to find out how to get back on. I got off to play that prophecy video. They all came together in one accord. That's my history. Yeah. We're going to have so much fun. What I titled this one? I forget. Anybody know what I titled this one? And I don't remember. What is the title of this one? I figured out how to find it on my other tablet so I can look at the notes and add notes. I don't know how it does that. It picks it up automatically. Go home. I'll just leave it at home and see if. Oh, there your current live stream. Is that me? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Now I know how to do it. Yeah. Okay, volume down. See that? That's two tuning element forks butted up against each other. And that's the icon that I came up with for my tuning element business for my partner and me. And then he fired me, quote unquote, and stole the business, stole my research. That icon was mine. The name of the tuning element, that was my work. That's intellectual property, is it not? I should get an attorney and sue this son of a bitch. Or just let God do it. And the technology was all mine. And then he stole it and fired me, quote unquote. So another $10,000 down the tubes. So I call it my $10,000 bracelet because he owes me at least that much. Anyway, interesting. Okay, anybody else going on here? Never get. I was going to enjoy you reading the book. Which book? Lights Out. Never get. Hi, how you doing? Where are you from? Just kind of like to know where some people are. Any questions you have? Anything we can help? I can help you with. Are you thinking about relocating? I should have a whole series of questions. Cool. All right. Well, it's been 2 hours. I think I'm gonna bag it. Maybe I'll be on later tonight if I get excited or do something. Get something to eat. It warms up enough. It was. I woke up, man. It was cold in here. It got pretty cold last night. It's down to 16 or something like that. 15, 16, chilly. Turn the heat up. I'm only going to get up today. Cowboy Conscious says, community says, praying for y'all, Jerry. Well, yeah, praying for me would be nice. I could sure use a sucker punch. That was irreplaceable. I'd like to get it back someday. Mary was going to get back on. Yeah, it really has to be. We got to somehow get something going here to help people out. Because Mary is probably not going to be able to make it on her own. Zimbabwe is not going to be able to make it on her own. Jack's not going to be able to make it on her own. That's three people out there that really need some help. And somehow or another, we got to pull this together and pray. I'm asking everybody to pray for sure. I mean, first and foremost, pray. I was talking earlier about David Brainerd, and then I started talking about how when I became a Christian, I started reading books, and I read Why Revival Tarries by Leonard Ravenhill. He'd mentioned a guy, a great prayer warrior, and I go and get the biography. I have to drive to the bookstore. I could look at the catalogs that they got ordered them out of. So I physically had to go down to the store, look and say, yeah, I want that one. There was no inlet, no internet, no online stuff. This was years ago. So this was like back in 75, 76. So I'd order the book, get it in, and that would tell me give me another book to read. And I'd order that book, and I'd order that book, and order that book, and that's how it all began. But early on, I got The Life and Diary of David Brainerd, and read that. And one of the books I read was Edward McHenry Bounds, E.M. Bounds, on the power of prayer, purpose in prayer. But Power in Prayer is a very good book. It has a lot of quotes from different people. And but it was asked one time of Edward Where in the world, where would you want to go? He was in England. He said, I would like to go to David Brainerd's graveside. That was the one place he'd like to go in the whole world. That was his bucket list, to visit the grave of David Brainerd. And why did he say that? Because he believed he had read so much church history about revivals, the great revivals of the 1800s, Hudson Taylor and after the Great Awakening. But he read so many books about that, and read so many like Hudson Taylor, Adoniram Judson, Henry Martin, you know. And actually, Ravenhill said this. He goes, Why did Hudson Taylor go to China? Because he had a vision. Why did Judson go to Burma? Because he had a vision. Why did Henry Martin go to Israel? Because he had a vision. Why don't you do anything? Because you have a vision. Television. The British accent, very cool. Anyway, why do people not do anything? Because you have a vision. Television. You're brainwashed by television. Television. David Brainerd. Yeah. So my middle son is named after David Brainerd. The rich widow lady that wanted to marry me twice. Her words for my oldest son is, he's your prodigal son. And I hope he'll come back. And I hope this prophecy about prodigals being set free and Jezebel being busted is going to happen. That would be awesome. So awesome. Oh my gosh. And yeah, it's bad that I lose my train of thought that quick. I need some water. Water. Judson, Burma. Oh, television. Sorry, people. What was I talking about? Hi, Mary, you're back. Hallelujah. What was I saying there? I lost my train of thought. I was talking about my son, prodigal. I was trying to make a point. I think I was trying to make a point. Ravenhill. Prayer, David Brainerd. Jonathan Edwards, Great Awakening. Why don't you move? Because you have vision. Television. Oh, come on. I don't want to leave it like that. Oh, come on. Anyway, Mary, yeah, I was just saying that something I've talked about that affect you or concern you, that I believe we need to have an association, a rotating fund, an investment firm or whatever. So if somebody can handle that, somebody that has capability, handle it via, I don't know. Can you set it like an escrow account? In other words, people invest in someone. I mean, right now, Zimbabwe and mate out there in California are both extremely valuable. And for them to be here instead of there would be worth my quintessential $1 million. Turn their lives around, save their lives, save people's lives here. Just talking to her last night, I think would save my life. Is going to help me out a great deal. So, Mary, I don't know what I'd like to talk to you if you'd email me or write me. My email should be on. You've seen it. It's on here somewhere. I'll put it on here. I'll put it on the comments. DMNDS 2001 at yahoo.com. No spaces, of course. There you go. You can be able to read that in a minute. Um, no, no spaces in there. You don't know any better. So, certain people have the education of a dentist and baby doctor. What are you talking about, Mary? Explain that. Are you a dentist and a baby doctor, or do you need a dentist and a baby doctor? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, they're dentists here. Baby doctor, you mean midwife? Never want a doctor if you're gonna have a baby. They can get you in big trouble. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, investment system. Because what they did with the Latter Day Saints did, a lot of people came over, converts came over from Europe, and they were poor. They'd spent their money getting over passage, and they didn't have a lot of money. Kind of normal people. Well, some of them were wealthier, but they didn't have overall. They didn't have money, so he came up with this idea of they couldn't buy oxen and covered wagon and all the tools and trades, to do it. So they can walk. They don't need it. They don't need oxen. They can walk. So they made these hand carts with really big wheels. I don't know what the dimensions of it are. You can look up Paul Mule and you can see a modernized version of it. I'd love to get one, but they're not. I don't think they. I think it's still on the, what do you call it? The fundraising stage. I hope they come through. I want to get one, but they're a big giant poly mule, a cart, hand cart for the hand cart company. Love to get one. Anyway, um, so Brigham Young came up with the bright idea of people walking. But what happened was, even at that, they still needed money. So the people in the churches back east, Illinois and whatnot, needed. And when they got out to Utah, they would get what they call a stewardship, a job. It's not all things in common, so you don't have to have an income that you're going to be taxed on, but you have a ministry, a stewardship. You're going to be in stewardship over these sheep, okay? And then they would make money, and they'd send the money back to the people that had invested in them. So why can't we do that? At least do that. Can you invest in someone? I'm not saying give people money, but we should be able to invest in people, help people. Jack needs help. Mary needs help. Zimbab needs help. Okay, there's 3 people right now on this group right here, and Amalia needs help. She said, I'll be walking. Oh, I don't want to see people walk. That's not good. That's not safe. It ain't going to happen. Never make it. I mean, it could, but by and large, probably not going to happen. People can walk the entire Appalachian Trail, but you got to have balls. You got to have balls of steel, balls of brass, and you got to be stuff like that. Yes, you can hike the Appalachian Trail. I watched a guy, this entire video of his, a story about it, video blog about. He made it all the way to Mount Katahdin in Maine, I think it is. That trail is like 2,000 miles. Yes, you can hike 2,000 miles. So you can hike 500 miles from Appalachian to Virginia to here, but not ideal. I'd prefer to see people drive. Drive now or walk later. Please drive. So we need to have a way to do that. Yep, obviously. Very sad. Shit. First, find your rabbit. She was their rabbit. They got the rabbit and they killed it. Bastards. Anyway, yeah, we need people like that. No, is that Mary? I was asking you. I know where you're about basically, but what would it take what do you lack to get here? I know you and your daughters want to get here, but what do you need? You know, how much stuff can you pare down to? How much stuff can you sell, get rid of? How much volume do you need to take? Your furniture is really not, unless you got a place to stay, it's kind of irrelevant to be moving a whole bunch of junk that you don't really need. You end up not leaving. People would come out here to the west, come out to the west, in the stagecoach, not stagecoach, the prairie schooners, the covered wagons, and they'd throw stuff out. No, we don't really need this piano. When we're running at high speed from Indians, or might be able to hide behind it to keep an arrow from getting stuck in our butt, or our chest. But you don't need those things that you maybe think you need. So pare it down, sell it, strip it down. My wife and I said, cut your losses, burn your bridges. Everybody's got to do that. You got to get rid of things. Zimbab out in California, her husband wants to, all of the stuff in storage, I want to keep it. Well, you'd be dead if you want to keep it. It's a millstone. If it's a millstone around your neck, or is it something really valuable? Is it really good tools? If it is, ship stuff out here. Ship it out ahead of time. Now, I would tell you this, Mary. A couple that I talked to, they found me online. I don't remember how. Probably YouTube. From outside of Boston, Massachusetts. I advised them to get a shipping container. So they got a U-Haul. Maybe it was I think it was U-Haul shipping container, right? They bring a box. They put a box onto a trailer. They bring it to your place. She loaded it up. They loaded it up, locked it up. U-Haul picked it up, took it, put it on a rail or truck, whatever. I think they put it on a train. They paid the storage on it for about 6 months, I believe it was, before they finally found property. But they waited. I thought, what are you doing? You're wasting money on rent. You're wasting money on the storage unit. You're pissing away your money, But they ended up buying a nice, beautiful 10-acre property that we could walk to from here. I mean, literally, it's like maybe a mile and a half from here. I'll do it on the thing one day. They didn't find it out. Anyway, they bought a place very close to us here, so it was really beautiful. They bought an Amish cabin, put it on it, whatnot. So yeah. Well, I will be bringing my furniture. That's why I said I'll be. I don't know that you said you'd be driving. Be driving a U-Haul. That's what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Just get with me. I'd like to run some ideas by you, talk about your situation, and maybe help you out, fine tune it. So it's helped a whole bunch. About 40 families do this. So I know a lot about what you can do, what you don't want to do, what you definitely don't want to do, what you absolutely don't want to do, and what would be nice to do. So drop me an email, please, if you want. We can talk on the phone too if you want to do that. Okay. So all I remember now is that you said you had 3 daughters, but I don't remember you saying about anything about driving. Maybe that was 2 or 3 streams ago. I can't remember everything that everybody says at every stream. That's why I'm asking people again, where are you from? You know. Hershay Henderson hasn't said anything. Sean O'Malley hasn't said anything. Sean O'Malley, are you Sugar Sean O'Malley? He's famous. We have a famous martial artist on here. And Mary, you still on? I'm on call it good. I'm tired. My voice is going. So, Mary, please write me and let me know. And did my? Yeah, it did. I think it showed up right. I put my number there. My what do you call it? My email address. How to get out of Babylon at gmail.com or dmnds2001 at yahoo.com. No spaces in between those. Like I said, yes, a rental truck. My Ford Explorer isn't big enough to put that, but well, of course not. Yeah. Can you'll tow your Ford, or you're gonna get rid of it? And you can get full car dollies where you can drive it up on. You can load the Explorer up, put it on the dolly. Don't want to really overload it, but check the app and everything. But the Ford Explorer is pretty big. A lot of camping that I've been doing the last. Oh, good, awesome. That's music to my ears, girl. I also have a lot of camping. Yeah, sweet. Canning. Oh, canning. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's music to my ears too. So you've got a lot of canning gear. That's good. Awesome. Sweet. Yeah, definitely bring that. A guy here sold all of his canning jars and dumped them. Just dumped them on Facebook, for nothing, next to nothing. I was like, why don't you save some of those for your daughter? She might need to learn to can someday. or sell them to Bill and Shirley are scrounging to buy them now, buying to find things now. You know, you got to sell them to them. But damn it, this just makes me so mad when people do stupid shit like that, dumping stuff for nothing. Egg incubator just dumped it on Facebook for nothing, $150 or something. Probably worth $1,000. And camping stuff. Yay! 2 thumbs up, girl. There's a thumb up. There's another thumb up. 2 thumbs up. Canning and camping. Good. Yeah, you're a prepper. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, well, what we need to talk about, not on here. You know, get with me on email. Will you do that for me, please? Say yes or no. Connect with me on email. Maybe I sent you my email. You saw that? I've put it on here quite a few times on the streams. But anyway, if you'll get with me on email, then we can talk more and maybe plan. Unless you got lots of money and lots of plans, because you know, like, what are you gonna do? Figuring on leaving, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, there's a gal came here from Pennsylvania, Layton, Pennsylvania. How far are you from Layton? Anyway, yeah, it'd be cool. So, all right, well, I'm gonna let you go. I'd love to talk to you. You know, if you have any projected place to go, we've kind of been talking about stuff like that off and on, but oh well. Okay. Yes. Yes. Um, yes. What? Yes, you will get in touch with me. Okay. Thank you. I actually that. I got to remember what question I asked. That way, I can know the answers when you give them. Yes. Okay. I'm very concerned, very interested, because that's what I do, and you know, I've seen enough people do things good and do things not so good on fixed income. Okay. So you wrote my address in your book. I hope. Yeah. I assume that's what you said. I hope so. And fixed income. So then the question is, you know, what are you gonna do for income when you got income? Okay. Are you thinking about renting? I'm just throwing this out. You don't have to answer right now. We can talk about it on email and phone. But you know, just kind of flesh out a better. Maybe someday we're gonna do it. You know, no, let's do it as soon as possible, really, because you never know when the things are gonna fall apart to the point where you won't be able to move. You won't be able to get out, and won't be able to drive the highways freely. Something I've said for many years. The day's gonna come when you're gonna have to go through checkpoints, and sorry, anybody that's unvaxxed is gonna go to the camp. You know, you don't want to be able to do that. They need to get out, because Biden could do some really serious stupid shit any time. So, all right, all right, all right, Mary. Looks like you and me are the only one anyway, or maybe one other person that won't talk. All right, good. Let's say good tonight. I'm gonna go through this scroll. I like to do this. Just go and say goodbye to everybody that's not on. But good night. The first one on was not even on there now. What's the one on? Let's scroll back now. Darn it. That's weird. It will not one on here either. They're both random. The first one that came on was Brother Ozark Brother Jerry. So good night, Ozark Brother Jerry. Good night, Cowboy Conscious Community. Good night, Zapton Kaboom. Good night, Deborah Perry. Good night, Jeremiah Shine. Good night, Michael Quinn. Good night, Terry Bell. Terry Bell, please touch base with me. Or let me know how you're doing, where you're at, and if we're going to help you at all. Good night, Tony. Coffee House Theology. Good night, Deborah Perry. Sean O'Malley. Huh. Good night, Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean. Good night, Common Sense Homestead. Sean. Zimbabwe Zach. Good night, Zimbab. Hearsay Henderson. Good night. Much love. Much love to you too. And good night, Mary. Swingun. That's a weird one. That's probably funny. Good night, Zimbab. Never give up. Good night, never give up. I enjoyed listening to you read the book. What book? Lights Out, I guess. Probably. They don't respond. You're not on long enough. Mary. Mary, it's just you and me, so good night, Mary. 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 Oh my God. We got a string going here, girl. That's pretty funny. 15 of them. Okay. Good night, Mary. I love you all. I love you, Mary. Love you, Jack. Love you, Zimbab. Love you, Sean. Love you, Sean. Love you. Who else on here? Jerry. Everybody's been on here. Love you all. Definitely be praying. Okay, good night.